Alright, what's going on? Matteo Giublato here. Today is Sunday, July 13th, 2025. I'm currently still 20 years old and I'm still in beautiful Alicante, Spain. I don't know if you can see the beach behind me. I don't know. Probably not, but just so you know, there's a beach behind me right there. And what are we doing here today? It's week number 2, so very, very good progress has been done over the past 7 days, which is what I'm going to talk about here, hopefully to inspire you, to keep myself accountable, and to track the progress. So we're first going to go over the boring stuff, so how I improved my bench, deadlifts, if I even improved my metrics from last week, and then we are going to get into some more interesting topics. Today specifically I'm going to talk about the importance of betting on yourself, of betting on oneself, and a strategy behind it that's always worked out in my life. And just so you know, if you're new to the channel or have never watched one of my videos in this channel specifically, everything that I talk about comes from a place of experience. It never comes from it's not a theoretical channel. I'm not here in theory telling you how in theory things work because I just read some books and I know this stuff. No. Everything that I talk about here is then followed by real life experiences, usually multiple life experiences where I've been able to experience what I'm going to talk about in this video. So I think that's pretty cool. And today specifically it's tailored and pointed towards betting on yourself. I've seen this many times in my life. I've seen it in other people's life close to me. And so that's what I want to talk about in this video specifically. So let's start with the boring stuff. Very good week in terms of business. One of the most successful weeks since probably the most successful week since the beginning of the year in terms of revenue and progress in the business, which is very interesting. But that's not really what we focus here. The 5 metrics that we set last week to track for this week are my bench, my deadlift, my pull-ups, my deep work, and my Instagram usage. So let's start with bench. Last week's bench, I don't have the video of it, but I did 80 kilograms times 5 reps. 80 kilograms is about my body weight, so it's not bad. But this week, and I'm gonna put the video of it, I did 80 kilograms times 7 reps, which is a very good improvement if we go and check the percentage. You know, the percentage improvement, it's much better than 1%, 5%. It's almost usually always 10 to 20% better every single session. Okay, so that's very good. Now, let's go into deadlifts. Now, just so you know, before I had my shoulder surgery about 2.5 years ago, I was pretty strong, I was pretty big. I'll put maybe a few pictures up here, but I was doing well, and my deadlift, I remember being 17, and I'll put the video while I talk about it. I remember being 17 and deadlifting 110 kilograms times 10. No, 100 kilograms times 10. So it was pretty good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to know that in perspective. Then I haven't deadlifted in 2.5 years because of multiple reasons. And now I'm back at it because I feel good. And I've done last week 100 kilograms times 5. I try to keep the form very clean. I don't have the video of it, but I have the video of this week, which is 110 kilograms times 6. So it's a very good improvement already from past week. From 100 kilos times 5 to 110 times 6, it's definitely over a 10% improvement. So I'm very happy about that. And finally, what excites me the most is pull-ups. So I've been really going heavy on pull-ups this past couple months, and I just find it very interesting how a lot of people can't even pull their weight up. And now I'm doing my body weight plus 25 kilos, and it's still going to be 35, 30, and my goal really is half of my body weight. So if I weigh 80 kilos, I want to do pull-ups with 40 kilos. And I'm currently, so last week, I did 25 kilograms times 5, and I'm going to put the clip here. Look at how at the beginning I wasn't very stable. I wasn't going up very explosively. It started off pretty bad, the set, but this week I did 25 kilos, so same weight, times 7 reps. So that's almost a 40% increase in the amount of reps that I've done. And the form was clean. The form was clean. And not just that, but then I followed that set with another set of 27.5 kilos times 4 after doing my best performing set already. And I put the video of that here as well. And that's very interesting because the strength has been going up, the grip strength, my forearms, everything's been going up. So that is very exciting. It makes me be excited of going to the gym. But next week's goal for me, I'm gonna go with 27.5 and I'm gonna hit at least 5 reps. I wouldn't be surprised if I was to hit 6 reps. Not at all. Not surprised at all. But yeah, very good progress. Now let's talk about deep work. Well, I've tracked like the first day of deep work, then I just haven't been able to track it because I've been working so much, I'll be honest. So right now my philosophy was, let's just take as many actions as possible. Doesn't matter what it is, like I'm just gonna take dispassionate actions, and I'll talk about why dispassionate actions towards my goal. And it's just been going very well, but I've just worked so much I couldn't really track it. So I think screw this tracking the deep work. I know when I gave my best and when I didn't. I think especially Thursday could have been better, and also Saturday, yesterday, I could have worked more. But you know, life is not only about work. I know I track it, but at the same time, it's like, it's okay. It doesn't matter. I still, overall, the week was very good in terms of progress, business-wise and normal life-wise, okay? Finally, let's talk about Instagram. This is the first thing that I am ashamed about, and that's the fact that from last week, I used Instagram basically more than I did last week. Although last week I said I was not gonna use it more. Last week, my average usage of Instagram was 48 minutes per day. This week's was 49 minutes per day. So it's about a 2% increase, I think. Yeah, I think. I'm not sure. The point is, I didn't improve, which is not good. We should improve every week at least 1%. So next week, I'm going to make some drastic changes to my habits and make sure Instagram is not being used over 48 minutes a day. And now here's the problem. The problem is also YouTube, because then I'm on YouTube or I'm on computer. When I don't use Instagram, I just scroll on my computer and I have no really way of tracking that. So I just need to change something for sure, because short form content is very bad for me, for my productivity, for everything. So that's going to change. Next week, you're going to see pretty good improvement. Now, just give me a second. So, as I was saying, good improvement overall for the week. Not happy about Instagram, but we'll fix it next week. Now, let's talk about some more interesting stuff. Betting on oneself. So, the reason I bring this up is because it's something that it's been a constant thing in my life over the past 3 years. And maybe I think the reason why I've gone through so much and improved so much in all areas of my life, I think it's the ability to bet on oneself and being confident in himself, or some of being confident of your own abilities of achieving something. So I'll give you the first example. So this was the first real, like, actual bet that I took on myself by my own. On my own. So I was on my own, alone, and I took this bet, and I was only counting on myself. So this is the first time that has happened, and that was in August 2023, when I decided to go to Thailand without knowing anyone, without literally any connection whatsoever, knowing what I was gonna do. I'm about to get on a plane for Bangkok, and I have to admit, I'm starting to feel some pressure. It was easier to book the flight and the apartment and everything now that I said goodbye to everybody and I'm by myself, literally alone. There's nobody covering my back. And I'm in the other side of the world, kind of put some pressure on me. I don't know why. We'll see. I had $1,300 in my bank account and I was planning to stay for 3 months. And the money I used to book the trip, so I booked the one-way flight and 2 months of Airbnb. So the money I used for that, I made them copywriting. It was my first year of doing a freelancer. So all the money I made, which at that point was about 2.5K, okay, of that money, I had put 1 towards my Airbnb and my flight, and I had 1.3 left to live there 3 months. So while everybody was like, okay, you need to go to college, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, my parents were like completely against it, and everybody was against it, to be honest. Everybody thought I was crazy. But I had a good feeling about it, and I bet on myself. So I went there with $1,300, started saving on water because I literally couldn't afford anything that would allow me, like if I spent too much, I couldn't survive for that long. So I went there and everything worked out, but the point is how I went there, like with what mindset. So I went there the thing is, when I even booked the flights to go there, I literally used all the money I had to book the flights, and I didn't even know if by the time it was time to go, by the time, the flight was due, if I would have been able to afford living there. Now, turned out I managed to. But it all started with a bet. It all started with me saying, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, to be honest. Like, it all started with there's no guarantee, like black on white. I don't have the money physically yet, but I'm gonna do it. I decide I am gonna make it. I'm gonna take whatever action is necessary to do it, and it's gonna happen. So 100% confidence in the ability of achieving it. And hence why I booked the flight, I booked the Airbnb before even having the money. Because I committed to it, I decided I wanted it, and I just started working towards it. And I ended up having enough money to survive for 3 months. But that bet turned into more bets. So how did that happen? So when I went there, I met some of my best friends, one specifically I met in a co-working. I didn't even know what a co-working was. I didn't even know what a co-working space was. I went there literally with no plan whatsoever. But there I met some friends who then helped me get into the next step and next step and next step, and so improved my life so much that by taking that bet on myself, the impact it had on my life, like I posted my first YouTube channel and my first YouTube video on copywriting would then turn into more videos. I experimented a lot of things. For example, I had the 1300, I think 300 of those dollars I spent on the camera I'm using right now to record. And if I didn't do that, I would have not probably grown my YouTube channel so much. It was another bet, right? Because it's just bet after bet after bet on myself. Now, obviously, there's bets that you shouldn't do and bets you should do. I would say as a, I guess, as a rule of thumb, just bet on things that to some degree you can control. So don't go to the casino betting on yourself because you can't really control. But go to Thailand betting on yourself because you can control how much money you make. You can control the actions you take in the meantime. So that's what I would say to that. Now, let's go to the next step of betting on myself. So what was the second time I bet on myself? So those 3 months went by in Thailand, and they definitely weren't as I expected them. I thought when I was going there, I thought, oh, I'm gonna be so rich, I'm gonna make so much money when I'm there, it's gonna push me to the moon, my YouTube channel is gonna have 10,000 subscribers, I'm gonna have these, I'm gonna have that. That was a very hard kick. Knowing that it didn't work like that. Learning that the world doesn't work like that, in the sense that you cannot have everything at 18 years old. 17 I was when I got there. Or I don't know, I think I was already 18. What am I talking about? Yeah, I was already 18. But the point is, knowing that you can't have, learning, understanding that you can't have everything right away. So that was a big, definitely a big switch in my life. But the point is, what's going on down there? Someone dying? Someone drowning in the pool? No, all good. I was just checking because I'm just hearing some stuff. Don't know if someone was drowning. But anyways, so the first bet was that. But that didn't turn out so well in the terms that I came back. I had my dad buy me a ticket to come back to Italy because I couldn't afford it. So all those 1,300 I used to the last cent. I have some crazy stories over those 3 months. I was saving on water. I have my Excel sheet where I know how much I was spending. I was living on less than $5 a day. It was insane. It was a great experience and it taught me a lot, but I came back with zero. So I came back with zero, but I came back with a desire, a plan. I wanted to go to Vietnam 3 months later. So I came back to Italy in the 1st of November after 3 months of staying in Thailand. And I decided that I wanted to go to Vietnam with this friend that I met in Chiang Mai in Thailand. 3 months later, I had no money. I had not made a single dollar, almost $100, $200 over the previous 3 months. Over the whole year, I had made 2.5K. It was a struggle. But I said, you know what? Let's go to Vietnam, or we didn't know where we were going, Vietnam or Thailand. With end of January, we need to leave to go somewhere else. Okay? And I decided that. I took the decision that I was going to do that. But what's even more interesting is the fact that everybody was doubting me. So when I got back and I told my family, my dad literally, they knew I didn't have any money. They had to pay for my flight back because I couldn't come back with my own money. But the day I got back from the airport, I was driving back with my dad from the airport, he was driving me. And I said, yeah, so I'm gonna leave now in 3 months, going to Vietnam. And he's like, what? With what money? And I'm like, oh, don't worry, I have a plan. I'll figure it out. I'll make it happen. And they were like so skeptical. They almost didn't believe me when I said it. Same thing, my friend. I told my friend, he knew that I was working hard, but he didn't know exactly. Because at the end of the day, I worked hard for 3 months and I made $200. So what were the chances that by February 1st, so 3 months later, I would have had, I needed at least $4,000 to $5,000 to go to Vietnam. So what were the chances, right? They were very little, but I knew I was gonna make it work. I knew I was gonna make it happen, so I bet on myself and I told my friend, let's start looking at some Airbnbs. Let's start looking at some flights. I'm gonna make it work. Don't worry about it. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna come to Vietnam in the 1st of February. My family said the same. I told them the same thing. I've worked my ass off, literally, from the 1st of November to the 1st of February, and guess what? In the 30th of January, I was on a flight on my way to Hanoi, Vietnam. Now, I'm not saying that was the best trip of my life, but I will say I was proud of myself because I told myself I was going to do it, and I did it. In those 3 months, I made more money than I had made already in the whole year, and that got me to allowed me to make enough money to go to Vietnam, and then I did also another 4 months in Thailand, in Koh Samui. Now, that was all nice, but notice how all of this starts and what allows me to keep growing, to keep learning, to keep improving my life are the bets that I'm taking on myself. I'm betting on myself constantly, continuously, all the time. All the time I'm betting on myself. I'm betting on myself. Okay? So everything I do, and that was 2 years ago, but don't think I haven't done, like you have no idea how many bets I've taken, how many bets, and there's never been once where betting on myself has not turned out to an improvement in my life at the end, in the end. So sometimes at the beginning it might seem like a failure. Man, let me tell you, when I came back from Thailand with no money and I had my dad pay for my flight back, and I left with this idea that I was gonna come back rich, making 10K a month or whatever. Man, it was tough. Like mentally, I was feeling down. But now in hindsight, when I look at it 2-3 months later, it's 2 years later. 2 years later, I'm like, wow, that's the best thing that could have happened to me. And I worked my ass off, and I made it happen. I bet on myself and I made it happen. And thanks to that, I progressed to the next level. Then I bet on myself to go to Vietnam. I made it, and I'm going to the next level. And then I'm betting on myself again now, and I'm going to the next level. So keep betting on yourself. It's extremely important. I'll tell you about one more instance where I bet on myself. This was 2 weeks ago, and it's still playing out. My most recent bet, that it's working already. It's already working. And then I'll give you some tips and strategies, or I guess what has worked for me over the years to increase my likelihood of winning these bets. Because, it can happen that you lose some bets sometimes, that what you want to happen and decide to make happen doesn't happen at all. And I think that there's some mistakes every time that go into it that kind of stop you or sabotage you from actually achieving what you said you want to achieve. So, back at it. Last bet that I took was 2 weeks ago with my friend here. He's from the Netherlands. We've been living here in Alicante for the past couple months, and we didn't really know what to do next. Now we're going for 3 weeks to the Netherlands, and then where are we going? I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I'll be completely transparent. This year so far hasn't been as abundant money-wise as I thought it would have been at the beginning of the year so far. And I mean, this is up until 2 weeks ago, and I was like, if I don't make it, if I don't make enough money, I'll have to go back to Italy and stay there with my family. And it's not like I don't like my family, but I know that's not the place for me to grow, especially not now that I'm 20 years old. I should be the least amount of time possible at home. Travel, improve, bet on myself, bet on myself, bet on myself. I know that's how you level up. That's how you level up, especially at this age, right? However, the year was, I'm not saying was not going as successfully as I planned it to be, okay? And so now I was finding myself in this tough spot where I wasn't making enough money. I mean, over the whole year, I haven't made much. not remotely close to what I was expecting to make by this time, because I tried many new things. I bet a lot on myself, on my business, and on my business partners and stuff like that. And it's starting to now, it's starting to work. But the point is, it wasn't working when I took this decision. I took the decision to go for 3 months in Australia, where the average rent per month that you have to pay by yourself, especially more specifically in the Gold Coast, where you have to spend about 2,000 euros, 2.5k dollars, 2.3, whatever it is, per month, just for rent. Okay, so someone who would look at my bank statements and my income of the past 10 months would say, you are crazy, you are delusional, you are retarded almost. Because why would you take that bet? Why would you commit to going to Australia, spend so much money when you're not making that money? You're just not making enough money. Okay, so a normal person, that's what normal people say. And what I say to that, I told my friend, I'm like, where do we want to go? Do we want to go to Australia? Let's go to Australia. We will go to Australia. Today, 2 weeks later, after I took the decision, I booked the Airbnb to go to Australia. I could afford to book the Airbnb to go to Australia. Over the past 2 weeks, I made more money than I had made in the whole year. Okay? Just for you to understand. And it all started with me deciding that I wanted to do something. So that's how it works to me. You first of all need to decide what you want, and then you go and get it. That's how it works, with betting on yourself. But it all starts with deciding that you even want to do something. So to me, it all started with deciding, okay, I'm gonna do that because I decided I'm going to do that. Okay? And another instance, yesterday, I said, because I just keep taking bets. I said, okay, what do we want to do for New Year's? I don't really have money to afford New Year's right now because I'm spending all my money to go to Australia. So yesterday, with no money basically, I said, okay, what are we going to do for New Year's? Should we take a private jet? Should we go to St. Moritz? Or what exactly do we want to do for New Year's? And my friend looks at me. He knows how my agency is doing. He knows all my numbers. This friend that I met in Chiang Mai, he said, we can do private jet or St. Moritz, but can you afford it? And I got so almost mad. I felt so insulted because I've never I can achieve anything I want. I get so frustrated when someone tells me I can't do something. If I want something, I can get it. For me, and what's really been a game changer in my life has been understanding that I first of all need to decide what I want and then make a plan to get there. Send out the order to the world, and it's going to deliver me what I want. So to me, the only question wasn't, can you afford it? Can you do this? Even he told me, yeah, it could be 20K for a week. And I'm like, 20K is probably much more than I'm making right now. And he was like, will you be able to afford it? 20K in a week? And I'm like, bro, you could tell me 100K in a week. And if I want to achieve it, I'll make it happen. You don't understand. Like, you know me. You've seen me pull it off before from much worse places. So why do you even doubt me? I almost got mad at him for that. But the point is, you need to behave like that. You need to react like that when people tell you that you can't do something. You know what you can do. You need to bet on yourself and then make it happen. Start small, but then make it happen. Okay, so for me, what is my thought process when I go and take a bet on myself? I first of all start with understanding what do I want. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, let's go to a very specific and recent example. 2 weeks ago, I decided I wanted to go to Australia. So I put it in writing, and once I put it in writing and I decide I'm committed with my friend saying, okay, let's start looking at some Airbnbs, we are officially going to Australia in a month and a half. I don't have money to come there. But in 2 months and a half, in a month and a half, we're going to be in Australia. We're going to go to the Gold Coast. That's where we're going. And that's it. Once I sent the order out, I detached myself from the outcome. So for me, I'm going to give you an analogy now, but for me, once I take the decision that I want something and that thing is going to happen, I boom, turn off my brain. I don't think about it anymore. It's done. It's set in stone. It's an agreement. I signed it. I am going to the Gold Coast in a month and a half, 2 months. Doesn't matter what happens. I am going there. What does that do to you? You start behaving, you start thinking, you start acting, and living at a frequency where you, in a month and a half, are going to the Gold Coast. So my life over the past 2 weeks has already changed so much because it's adapting to when I'm going to go to the Gold Coast. So over the past 2 weeks, as I said, I made more money than I was making the whole year with my business. And that is because it all started with taking a decision, another bet. The reason I think I wasn't progressing so much is because I didn't have the next bet. I didn't know what to do after Spain. Am I going to go back to Italy? I don't want to go back to Italy. What am I going to do with my life? Took a decision, and I started walking towards it without being attached to the outcome, because as I said, the outcome is already set in stone, it's already done. And now it's already happening, and you're gonna watch these videos probably in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm gonna be in the Gold Coast in a month and a half to 2 months. I think we leave on the 30th of September. That is a month and a half. Yeah, 30th of August. My bad. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just start by deciding what I want, and start living as if that thing has already happened or is set to happen. Doesn't matter what I do, it will happen. Now, I want to give you a couple tips on what to do next, because that's the easy part. Like everybody can say, oh yeah, everybody puts these goals, right? Everybody sets these goals. Oh yeah, by next year, in June, I'm going to be driving a Lamborghini. But only, 0.001% of people actually make it? So clearly, there's something wrong with that. It's not enough to just say, I want these and it will happen. That is clearly not enough, and if you're smart enough, you'll understand that. If you've been through it, you understand it. It's not as easy as simply put the goal in, set the goal and it's gonna happen. No, not really. There's much more that goes into it. And there's many things that people don't know that actually sabotage them, and a lot of people sabotage themselves from achieving these goals. So this book right here, Ready to Surfing, one of the big boys I've read this year, and I never follow the books to word for word. Like, it's not like, this is not the gospel for me, and no book is the gospel for me. It's all a mix of ideas and philosophies that make my own philosophy. And so, but what I'm saying is, I took some good things from this book and I applied to my betting strategy, and it's allowed me to win more. It's allowed me to win more predictably. It's allowed me to feel better in the process, while I'm waiting for the win to happen. It's allowed me to feel better and do a better job, live better. Because sometimes what happens is you set this goal. For example, and first of all, you should never set your goals based on money. That's something I learned. Your goal should never be, I want to make 10K a month, I want to make 20K a month, I want to make 30K a month. No, the goal should always be something. The money follows, but the goal is something first. Because money cannot be a goal. The goal of your life scope cannot be money. Or that's at least what I've learned and what I've experienced. I just feel bad and no drive at all when it's just about money. But it's about going to the Gold Coast, and I need money to go to the Gold Coast, then, it's different and things flow the right way. But anyways, so it's not about money, but there's also a few things that happen every time you set yourself a goal. Think about it. You set yourself this big goal. I want to do this, and you keep talking about it, and you're just so attached to this goal. For example, let's say I right now was so attached to Australia. Every day I was thinking about going to Australia. Every day, instead of understanding that the thing is already going to happen, if I don't lower my importance levels and I detach myself from the goal, the same way you would do when you send your order to a waiter. You don't stay there, oh, when is my pasta gonna come? When is my pizza gonna be delivered here? Oh my gosh, is it gonna be delivered? I don't know. And that's where the doubt, the fear, the stress comes in. While if you go as, okay, I sent my order to the waiter, the restaurant is gonna bring me my pizza. The waiter is gonna bring me my pizza, I can just sit back, relax, the pizza is gonna come, it's set in stone, I've already sent them the order, it's gonna come. So when you do something like that and you detach yourself from the pizza, from the order, from your goal, from going to Australia, that's when you can think the right way, be at the right frequency, because every time there's fear, there's doubt, and all of that, all of these things, doubt, fear, stress, comes from too high levels of importance. big thing that I learned in this book. 2 high levels of importance. So if I am stressed about something, it's because I care about it too much. And that causes excess potential. It's a bit technical. I'm not gonna go into explaining the book because that's not the point here. But the point is, what I've learned and what I've started doing and why I think I'm getting so fast results, specifically with this bet of Australia, is I've completely detached myself this time. Like, I am going to Australia. Like, there's no way around it. I'm not stressed at all. I don't doubt it for a single second that in a month and a half I'm going to Australia, which is important, which is very important. So first thing that I did, and that you should do if you want to bet on yourself, after you decide your goal and commit to it, detach yourself. The same way you detach yourself when you send your order at the restaurant, just wait. The waiter is going to bring you your order. It's not like 3 minutes goes by, oh, where is my pizza? 5 minutes go by, oh, is he going to come? Did they get my order? You never stress like that at the restaurant. So why do you stress like that when the ward is processing your order and giving you what you want? Okay, so that said, next thing that is very important when it comes to betting on yourself is the action. And this perhaps is the most important thing, because I can set myself now the goal of benching 100 kilos next week, let's say, 100 kilos times 10. I know that I'm going to do it. I detach myself from that goal, and then I just stay here all day on the balcony looking at the view. Do you think I'm going to bench 100 kilos? I doubt it. I really doubt it. So that's very important. Action is probably, without action, nothing works. Without action, no goal, no plan, nothing works. Action. What's hard about it is, and that's what I've been doing over the past 2 weeks and why I've been progressing so much. I have been taking consistent, massive amounts of actions dispassionately. So, what that means, when I take an action, when I do something, I edit this video, when I reach out to a client, when I take a sales call, I'm dispassionate, completely detached. I just know that I need to take as many actions as possible. But I don't stress over the fact of, oh my gosh, okay, I need this sales call to close, that way I have enough money, and so my plan for Australia will actually work out. So you don't take action because of, you just take action. Change your mindset, reframe your mind from, I take action because of this, I take action because I want this to happen, I take action and I expect this to happen. No, that thing will happen. Now let's focus on taking as much action as possible, as fast as possible, without caring about the outcome. And because we already know the outcome, we already set it in stone earlier, right? We already sent the order to the waiter. So it's a combination of these 3 things. Deciding what you want and committing to it. Detaching yourself, removing importance from what you want, and then taking consistent, massive, dispassionate action towards that goal. And if you do these 3, I don't know, me personally, for my 20 years of experience and last 3 years of taking big bets on myself, I've never failed. And I don't think I'm gonna fail. I know definitely this to Australia is not gonna fail, but nothing else that I want, I think, will ever fail. If I come from this sentiment, and if I come from this angle, and if it fails, it's because of one of the 3. Either one of the 2, actually. Because the first is, you can achieve anything you want. First, understand that. If I fail, it's because I either gave too much importance to actually achieving this goal, so I didn't detach myself correctly, or secondly, I didn't take enough action. And guess what's great about all of this? It's all up to you. You can decide how much you want to be detached. You can decide how much action you take. It's really all up to you. So can we conclude that you create your own life and you are the master of your destiny? I don't want to go as far as saying that, but that's what I've noticed. Okay, I can do whatever I want, and I can take huge bets. I can win, and to me, for my life and my experience, this is how you do it. I don't say just because I've read some stuff in this book and that is what. No, I just take information, I apply it to my life, and I do a lot of freaking work. I take huge bets, and then I come here and tell you about those bets. I don't, as I said at the beginning, I don't speak about it from a theoretical standpoint. I come in with an experience-based view or perspective, call it whatever. But anyways, I think this video was pretty good. Yes, I'm happy about it. I can't wait for next week's video because you're just gonna see me winning. You're just gonna keep seeing me win, 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 win. And hopefully it inspires you to win as well. And hopefully you're gonna start taking bigger bets in your life. Again, don't bet on at the casino, bet on yourself, bet on something that you can control, take big bets, and yeah, I don't think you can fail because it's all up to you. Decide what you want, detach yourself, and take constant, massive, dispassionate action, and that's pretty much it, okay? So if you are my son or my family, love you. If you're anyone else, please, please nothing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.